Hello everyone and welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit for the first broadcast of Formula SimRacing 2014 official season. Obviously we have had the winter series, but this is obviously the official season. So qualifying one is about to start once again on the Bahrain International Circuit, and we are just waiting for the practice to round up and then we can start with the qualifying one. Just to give you a little bit of a guideline, we have had pre-qualifyings. Currently the fastest lap was a 31.6, so it's a little bit of a guideline. You should be looking at mid-31s probably for a pole position, but obviously we will still have the qualifying one, and then the top 10 goes to qualifying 2. But right now it is time then to start the first qualifying. This is obviously the A season, which was the World Series last season, but there are some changes inside Formula SimRacing. World Championship is still World Championship, the A Series is World Series, and the Pro Series has become, or the World Trophy Series has become the Pro Series. Anyway, qualifying one is about to start then. Let's see what the drivers can do. So 2 compounds are available for this weekend. We have the soft tires and the medium tires. So it will be quite interesting to see actually if there are some people choosing to start on the medium instead of the softs, but it will come on later obviously. So that's Jeroen, Carlos Martin, his outlap. We've had 2 pre-qualifyings, qualifying 1 and qualifying 2. Pre-qualifying, that is obviously. Carlos Martin was actually the fastest in pre-qualifying 2 with a 31.9, so he's able to get into the high 31s as well. And then his teammate Alvaro Torres was doing 32.0, so both Crown cars are able to drive probably high 31s. So that should be the target for them. So here we go, Carlos Martin approaching the start-finish line to start his qualifying lap. So we are driving on board with him now to see what lap he can do. So turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3 are pretty difficult corners, to be honest. They are pretty tight. I'm sure we will probably see some problems there in the first lap of the race. It's once again really tight and incredibly difficult to go side by side there. Approaching turn 4, the right-hander, and then rounding up the first sector. Carlos Martin now starting his second sector with this chicane right-left. Those are corners 6 and 7, as he now comes down to corner 8. And next up we have corners 9 and 10, and those corners are pretty much crucial in my opinion. Very crucial corners. You don't want to lock your inside tire here, as it can really affect your lap completely, because you will have a flat spot on your tire, which is not good in this game. And opening up the DRS, coming on to corner 11, which is a very quick left-hander. Carlos Martin chooses to go into 3rd gear. You can also keep it in 4th if you want there. Then corner 12 and 13. He's rounding up the 2nd sector right now, starting the 3rd sector. And you really need quite a bit of top speed on those on this final sector, also the 1st sector as well. But the middle sector is you have quite a few corners there, so it will be interesting to see as well what the teams are going to do in terms of the wings and the top speed, because I think there are quite a few strategies possible here. As Carlos Martin, there he goes, 131.8 currently in pole position, and that's what I mean, he was able to do that as well in pre-qualifying, so as I said, that was his target I think. So more people right now coming across the finish line. It's still Carlos Martin in pole position. Kweekel has done a 39.9. He was the one who did a 31.6 earlier on in the session. So currently the top 4 separated by 3/10 only. So the gaps are quite small right away. Just 6 minutes left in this session currently. Let's see what Alex Diaz can do. He's on the flyer right now as well. He is on the straight, opening up the DRS, the second DRS zone into corner 11. Let's see where he can put himself up. More people now rounding up their laps. We see Jeroen from Precision Motorsport still has to do a lap, but he is on the flyer though. He's starting his lap right now, Jeroen. Locks his inside tire there a little bit for the first corner. Will probably be slightly compromised thanks to that for the entire lap now. But yeah, expectations are high obviously for Precision Motorsport. Always a very competitive team. Toman 29.6 first sector, so he's about a 10th off Martin at the moment. She comes on to corners 9 and 10. As I said before, they are so important to get right. Not so much in the qualifying, but in the race it definitely will be important, because one flat spot and it will, you know, compromise you throughout your entire race stint. So here we go, Jeroen rounding up second sector. 39.8 is his middle sector time. That's pretty decent. I think he's looking at a low 32. Let's see what his final sector will be like. And opening up the DRS, across the line he goes. It's indeed a very low 132. 132 is a 132.0, which currently puts him up to 5th place. So indeed, we are pretty close in terms of the gaps. Top 5 is separated by 2/10. It's still Carlos Martin who is leading up in front. And let's see if we can spot another car who's on the flyer. We have Danny van der Niet. He should be starting his lap right now as well in the Crown 7 car. Approaching turn 1, he just about gets 324 kilometers an hour. A little bit of traffic at the pit entry there. A little bit more traffic for him coming up next, but that car goes nicely out of the way, even off track, so no problems whatsoever over there. Then into turn 4. And he does a 30.7, so that's very low, very slow first sector. Don't know where that's coming from. Also, if you're wondering where Sam Jones is, Sam Jones had some problems with his broadcast software, so unfortunately he's not here at the moment. Just 2 more minutes to go in qualifying 1. Let's have a look at the 10th place. We have 32.4 currently from Johnny Simon in the Go Speed Racing Team car. Sorry, that's not the Go Speed Racing Team car. It's the SimRacing Ace, the positive car. He abandoned his lap currently. I think he's on the out lap. He's currently in 10th place with a 32.4, so times are again, as I said before, pretty close. Let's see if Marek Godek from Go Speed Racing can put himself into that top 10 position spot. Obviously Go Speed Racing is quite a big team. Let's see if they can impress in this A series. I wonder if Kodak is on the outlap. I think he is, so he's gonna have to hurry up if he wants to do another lap though. Just 34 seconds remaining in this session, and it is currently Carlos Martin who has done a 31.8, still leading, but it's obviously the focus has to be around that top 10 position, or the 10th position rather. So Mario Kodak driving on board here, he is going to look at a very low 32 in order to move himself up into the top 10. So he goes, opening up the DRS. On 21 kilometers an hour as he breaks down for turn 1. A little bit of a lock up. I wonder if that's lag or if that's really the case. Might be lag as well. He does 29.9 in the first sector. That's not too great. He's gonna have to put in a very good lap if he wants to go into that top 10. As Thomas sadly is currently into P10, but we are still driving with Mario Kodak. Sadly is currently into P10, 32.4. So he beat Johnny Simon at the moment, but only by 2/1000ths of a second, so that's not a lot. As Mario Kodak makes a mistake, and that's his lap done. That's his lap done, so he won't go into Q2. That's qualifying done for him. Are there still any other cars driving? We have David Benowich. It's very hard to pronounce. Excuse me if that's wrong. He's still on the lap, but I don't think it's a flyer. No, it's not. He heads into the pits, so I think that's pretty much it. We have Rasmus Telly, who in the end managed to beat Savali into that 10th position by a 10th as well. So that's it. Go-Speed Racing Team. Both drivers are out, 11th and 12th. Then it's Alex Diaz in 13th, and a few other people rounding up. But the caps are pretty close though. So, top 10, we have Muhammad Pedal, who did a 31.5, so that's again a confirmation. He has done a 31.6 before, and he's basically done that again, a very high 0.5, so he's able to be quick. He has a lead of about 2.5 tenths over Carlos Martin, so he is quite a big lead. He's currently looking obviously favorite for the pole position into that Q2. Now Q2, right? The Q2 regulations, Park for May is on, which means that there won't be any big setup changes from quali to the race. Also, the drivers have to use the same compound, I think, as what they qualified on. So it will be interesting to see right now whether the drivers are going for the soft tires or medium tires. So there we go then, qualifying 2. And let's see, we have Carlos Martin going out straight away again. So 5 minutes, and you have only 1 lap to time this right. So this 1 lap's high pressure right now for the drivers. Pressure is on, definitely. So Carlos Martin is out. He is going to do he's going to be the first person who does a flying lap. We have Margot Conti out right now as well, and Muhammad Pedal is out as well. So we have straight away Carlos Martin and Muhammad Pedal out, and I think we are going to join Muhammad on board, because last qualifying we have driven with Carlos Martin. So this time it's round 4 Pedal. This time it's the round 4 Pedal. So here we join the Twister Racing car. Let's see what he can do. He's on the soft tires. I'll have a look if I can spot anyone who is currently not on the soft tires, so on the medium. Nope, doesn't look like it. So everybody is on the soft tires right now, so we should have a very fair battle for pole position here. As I said before, only the top 10 are allowed to qualify. So here we go, Pedal rounding up his out lap and beginning his flying lap. Here he goes, opening up the DRS. Now I will have a look at the live timing and see what the sector times are, both for Pedal and Carlos Martin. Carlos Martin is obviously has already started his flying lap. He has just rounded up the first sector, so we will have a look at what his time is compared to Pedal. Currently still in that first sector, approaching turn 4. Should take this in second gear or third, whatever you want. Second gear, alright. You can stay in third as well if you want, if you just want to keep the car stable. Carlos Martin has done a 29.7. Conti has done a 29.6. So currently Conti is faster than Martin, and Pedal does a 29.7 first sector. So we have a tiny difference between Martin and Pedal. And it's Conti who is currently a 10 faster than everyone else. There we go, Mohammed Pedal opening up the DRS as he approaches corner 11. We have seen Godek going off here, so it's a pretty difficult corner. Understeer catches you out sometimes over there. As we round up the second sector, Carlos Martin has done the 29.6, which is the fast currently. Conti has done the 39.6 as well, so once again pretty close. But Pedal has done the 39.5, so he's on for a flyer again. He's fastest in the middle sector currently. Carlos Martin has done the 29.3. Conti has done the 32.2, and here we go. Pedal has done the 32.2 as well. So Conti, pretty much out of nowhere, has done the 32.2, which is pole position right now. Remember, the drivers obviously have applied their race setup, which they are using right now, which might explain the difference. As Jeroen, Precision Motorsport, is on pole position, 32.1, and a few other people rounding up their laps as well. Johnny Seaman goes and does a mid 32, which puts him on 5th place at the moment. Still Alvaro Torres and Ross Mustali who have to finish their lap. Let's have a look. Let's go with Tali. He is in the 3rd sector at the moment. He's done a 39.6 mid sector, so he is looking at around P5, I would say. Let's have a look. As Alvaro Torres has started his lap as well. Let's see, Ross Mustali, here goes P7, alright, with a 1:32.6, so let's join Alvaro Torres then, the only man who still has to do a lap in his qualifying session. His first sector, 29.5, so whoa, he's fastest currently. He might be on for a pole position right here. He just has to round up corners 9 and 10 beautifully here. Let's see what he does. Yep, that's pretty beautiful. No lock up. He goes even to 1st gear there. You can choose 1st gear or 2nd as he opens up the DRS on the way to turn 11. Let's see, he might be on pole position right now. Depends on what he does in the 2nd sector. Let's see. 39.7, so that's a little way off. That's actually 0.3 off of what Jeroen has done, who is currently 2.3. So I think the Crown cars are pretty quick into that 1st sector, but then they just lose it in the other sectors. So that's it. Pre-qualifying or qualifying 2 is finished, and so we move on to the race. So that's Jeroen then, Precision Motorsports in pole position, and basically that that came because of the setup change that they had to do. As I said before, qualifying 2, you had to run with setups which you're going to use in the race as well, which might explain the difference. We have seen a 31.6 in the first qualifying, and now the pole position was a 32.1, I think it was. So sweet lap from Jerry Toman. First we have the warm up, and this basically gives the chance to the drivers to have a feel for the car in under heavy fuel conditions, and then we will start a race. So this is my time as well to talk a little bit about the race. Well, it could be a one stopper or two stops. It depends. I think a one stop is definitely possible on this track. So, well, the race is 34 laps long, and then that means, well, let's say lap 15 you'd switch from the soft to the medium and then do 19 laps on the medium. That's possible, but you don't really want to eat up your tires because then it's not going to be possible. So two stops is also possible. You could go with soft medium, or soft medium soft, whatever you want. But I guess a one stop is the way to go, and I think a lot of teams will choose for that as well. So also with R Factor 2, there's quite a big difference between starting on the dirty side of the track and the rubbered side of the track. Obviously, the first position will start on the rubbered line, and second position will start on the dirty side, which makes quite a big difference. Obviously, the drivers have launch control, which they will use at the start, but it's not a guarantee for a great start always. It also depends on your gearing setup. But starting on the dirty side could be a big disadvantage. Well, not really that big, but could be a disadvantage. So we might see Daniel Kiss, who is in second place, fall back just a little bit at the start. Also, I should mention that we will have a sprint race. First of all, the 60% race distance race will come right now, so that's the 34 laps where I talked about before. And after that we will have a 30% race distance race, which is 17 laps. So that means as well the top 8 will be in reversed order. So that means the top 8 from the first race will be in reversed order. So the first place starts in 8th place and so on. So indeed we are seeing low 37s as a lap time right now. That is obviously with race fuel. I think the drivers or the teams will see that it's pretty pointless to run a low fuel setup, because it's, you get some time, and with the time, put it into good use and start with the heavy fuel, start to get a feeling for it. But it will be quite interesting to see who's good on the tires, because it's really important to be good on the tires in R Factor 2. You just cannot push every lap without looking after the tires, especially not if you want to do a one stop, because trust me, that's not possible. So you can choose whether you push in the opening stint and then be a little bit slower later on in that stint, or you can just choose to be consistent and not have a lot of tire wear. Or minimize the tire wear, I should say. just 5 more minutes in this warm-up session. It might be a little bit less as well. We are a little bit behind schedule, so I don't know if the organization decides to start earlier and just cut a little bit off the warm-up. Don't think so. I mean, I don't think they are planning to at the moment. As look on board with Jeroen is very busy there into that first couple of corners. I think that will be pretty crucial as well. As Jeroen backs out of it, I think it will be pretty crucial as well. Those first couple of corners in the first lap. Obviously, it's so narrow. Side-by-side action is not really possible there. Well, it's possible, but you're gonna have to be really careful and try to make no contact whatsoever. So when the race is going to start, we will have a formation lap before that as well. Just, you know, what you're used to. Always in Formula Sim Racing, we run a formation lap, and then the drivers go into their slots on the grid. Then the race will start after the lights go out. So just to remind you, tomorrow we have the Pro Series kicking off and the World Championship obviously as well, so that should be a pleasure to watch as well. But that's all tomorrow. Right now we are watching the A Series. As I said before, last year it was called the World Series, but it has changed. Obviously, we will have DRS after 3 laps, just standard F1 rules. The drivers must use 2 different compounds as well, so soft and medium. You have to use both compounds at least once. So I think everyone outside the top 10 is allowed to start on the medium tire or the softs. They have a free choice there, so it will be interesting as well to see who is on the medium outside that top 10. But as I said before, the top 10 itself has to start on the tire where they have qualified with, and that's soft for everyone. I don't think everyone went on medium. As far as I'm concerned, everyone went on soft tires. Right, so 2 more minutes to go. Indeed, we have a full warm-up session, even though I thought for a second that it might have been shortened up a little bit, because we, as I said before, we are a little bit behind schedule. Not a lot, but we have a full warm-up session. As the camera is focused on Carlos Martin, obviously the pressure is on him. Starting from it, sorry, it is obviously Jeroen starting from pole position, but you know, Carlos Martin with the Crown team, obviously pressure on him as well. Launch control is mandatory to use, so you cannot not use launch control. You have to use it at the start, otherwise you will be disqualified. So we won't see any no launch control starts. Everyone will use launch control. Final couple of seconds, and then we will start the first Formula Sim Racing 2014 official race. As we have seen a couple drivers as well making practice starts. Obviously, as I said before, if you want to use every time or every second that's available to you in order to practice. So warm-up session is over, or it should be over any second now. Good luck to the drivers. So as I said, it will be quite interesting to see corners 1, 2 and 3, very tight corners. Turn 4 is it's not really that narrow, it's quite wide, but when you go around the outside there's quite a bit of dirty track. There's not a lot of grip on that side. And then we come onto that chicane as well, turns 6 and 7. I doubt it if we see any side-by-side action through there. It's high speed, obviously, not that wide, quite narrow. As we are moving to the race in 30 seconds, so just 30 seconds to go for the start of the formation lap. Let's see if Jeroen from Precision Motorsports can put his or convert his pole position into a race win. It will be tough, I'm sure. 34 laps are quite tough on this track. You have to keep your focus, and as I said before, the tire model is great in R Factor 2, and you really have to manage your tires, otherwise you will have a problem for the entire stint. So we go then, the race. As we should see the drivers lining up any second now on the grid. I can hear a few engines already. There we go. A couple of people already out on the grid. So first we will have a formation lap, as I said before, and then we will start a race. There we go. Jeroen on pole position. He is in front of Daniel Kiss in the Twister Racing. And we have Twister Racing Marco Conti, Twister Racing Blue. And obviously Mohammed Paddle, who was so quick in qualifying 1, he is in 4th place. So we are on the way with the formation lap. We should see no incidents here. Just drivers keeping their head cool. Warm up the tires, keep the engine temperature cool. Put some heat into the brakes and the tires. We could see a pretty big incident maybe into turn 1. As I said before, I cannot really mention it too many times, but that first corner is really difficult for the drivers. You really have to anticipate on the situation as quick as you can. Jeroen comes out of turn 10. Onto the straight we will have the second DRS zone over here, and the first DRS zone is on the start-finish straight, the main straight. As I'm hearing right now that Tejan has disconnected from the race. That's a big disappointment for him. Yep, he indeed disconnected. So we will have one driver less on the grid. As the drivers right now round up the formation lap. It's a bit of a gap between Mohammed Paddle and Marco Conti, but I'm sure that Mohammed will close the gap down. So here we go then. Jeroen lines his car up, then we will have the first race for Formula SimRacing 2014 A Series. As we have a look, and it looks like all drivers have made it fairly clean and are right now lining up their cars. So here we go then. I think that should be everyone standing right now. Yeah, there we go. So here we go then. Formula SimRacing 2014 A Series Race 1 Bahrain International Circuit. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're away. So the first round is right now underway, and Jeroen made a pretty good start. There's contact in the back, straight away, people off. Jeroen still leads coming into turn 1, and there's 3 wide, going 3 wide into that first corner. I don't know how they did that. Still no contact up in front. At the back there was some contact though, and Jeroen just pulls away instantly right from the start. So he's made a beautiful start, and he's looking right now to extend the gap as Marco Conti, as there's big crash, cars rolling over. That is, who is that? That is Alvaro Torres. Alvaro Torres has made a big crash, but not too much damage on that car though. I saw him flying, and he will definitely probably make a pit stop, you would say. I don't think the damage is too big, but that was a pretty big crash. Jeroen still leads then, ahead of Marco Conti, who is in second place at the Twister Racing Blue team, and he is being followed by the Twister Racing Black car of Daniel Kiss. So he has lost position as Marco Conti has made a beautiful start, and probably, but Jeroen is pulling away from the gap, from the pack. He already has a gap of 1.7 seconds to Marco Conti, and in fourth it is Pedal, and in fifth it's Johnny Seaman. So there's a bit more there has been quite a bit of contact actually in the back as well. Jeroen running up the first lap then. So let's see. The gap is right now. Let's have a look. The gap is 2.4 seconds straight away after 1 lap to Marco Conti. It's a pretty big gap, isn't it? Daniel is under attack from Mohamed Pedal, and Mohamed Pedal overtakes him quite easily there, moves up into P3, so he will be right now looking to chase down Marco Conti up in front. So we have lost Alvaro Torres, unfortunately for him. Is he still driving? He's still driving, so he hasn't made a pit stop. Here he is, Alvaro Torres in 21st place, and he's trying to make a move on Martin Hodes in the Precision Motorsport. So Precision Motorsports having a quite tough weekend right now, at least Martin Hodes has, because obviously his teammate Jeroen is leading the pack, and the gap is 2.5 seconds. But as I said, that first couple of corners are very dangerous, they really are. And I'm sure that a few people have had pretty big issues. But up in front it's still Jeroen, who's in the lead. It's a 2.5 second gap, 2.6 now, so he extended the gap by another 10th over Marco Conti. So he's doing pretty good right now, but who knows, he might be on a 2-stopper, you never know. Let's have a look. I think at P11, yeah, P11 we have Saliento, if I pronounce it right. He is under threat from Thomas Savely in the Go Speed Racing car. One thing to mention is that Mara Godek in the Go Speed Racing car has moved himself up into the top 10, so he's in 9th position at the moment. And I can tell you that Saliento has gone for the medium tire as well. And Godek is on soft tire. Savely is on soft, and Saliento is still under threat from Savely, although the gap seems to be extending a little bit. Jeroen, he did a 1:35.3, and Conti has done a 35.9 this lap. So straight away a difference of 0.6 over 1 lap. So Jeroen currently looking really good. But we obviously don't know what the strategy is for this race. And straight away Jeroen has managed to extend the gap by 0.2 to Conti. But Mohamed Pedal is actually fine. He's done a 35.2, and he's fastest currently of the race. So let's switch to Mohamed Pedal, and he is about half a second down on Conti, but he will have the slipstream effect as well. And next lap DRS will be enabled, which should help him a little bit. I think Pedal has made a slight mistake in that middle sector. He's suddenly about 4/10 off the pace, but nonetheless, he's pretty close. The gap 7/10, so it extended a little bit once again. As we have a little bit of action further down in 5th place. Johnny Simon is looking for a pass on the Twister car from Daniel Kiss. But man, we have had a pretty hectic first lap, losing Alvaro Torres. He's currently in 20th position. He is making his way up to the field a little bit. He actually overtook Martin Hodes in the Precision Motorsports car, and Alvaro Torres is currently in 18th place. Let's have a look at that. 18th place, Alvaro Torres. He's in a pretty big fight with Martin Hodes and Armando Mora. So Martin Hodes in the Precision Motorsports having not such a great day. Probably something happened to him at the start, because Jeroen, his teammate, is currently leading the pack. Although I think the gap is slightly decreasing, if that's right. No, it's staying about the same. It's 3.1 seconds. There's a 10th difference between them, and it seems like Mohamed Pedal is a little bit stuck. So we have Alvaro Torres here under attack from Martin Hodes in the Precision Motorsports. He makes a move on the inside Precision Motorsports car, and he gets that done nicely with use of DRS. And that's that move done as he right now goes around the outside of Armando Mora. Great move there, and now it's Alvaro Torres who was on the inside, and there we go, makes that move stick as well. So nicely done by the pair of them, Alvaro Torres and Hodes. And Mora loses 2 positions there in about 2 corners. So well done to both drivers. Obviously, Alvaro Torres probably wants to follow Martin Hodes right now if he can, but Martin Hodes' move is pretty quick as we have a car out. There was a car spun on the track, and that is Joao Gabriel, position 24th. He's lost his rear wing. I think that's race over for him. We have lost Alex Diaz and David Dovic during this race. Both had suspension failure, so there must have been a crash. And yeah, look at that. That's race over for Joao Gabriel. As John Seaman, currently in 7th place, so he was in 5th place before. Got overtaken by 2 cars. The 2 cars of Carlos Martin, who is currently in 6th place, and Rasmus Tali, who is doing pretty good and keeping Carlos Martin behind him. So it will be interesting to see what Carlos Martin can do. Jeroen is again extending the gap. It's 3.8 seconds right now. And indeed, I can confirm that Joao Gabriel has retired from this race. After that crash, we have seen him into the gravel trap there. Lost his rear wing. Race over for him. DRS enabled, DRS not so powerful currently. Although, look at that, Carlos Martin is quite close to him. Let's join Carlos Martin on board. There we go. He had a pretty poor exit, so right now he's on the thread once again from from Johnny Seaman. Johnny Seaman actually had a look on the inside there, but decided to back out of it. But we have some pretty close racing here, apart from Jeroen, who is currently leading the pack. No problems whatsoever for him at the moment, as we are in the 5th lap of the race. And when you're making a 2-stop, I would say that we should see some people in at around lap 8 or 9, something like that. Or lap 10. But to be honest, I expect that most people will be doing a 1-stop. So let's join Johnny Seaman. He is pretty close behind Carlos Martin, as there's a car off the road up ahead. That was Rasmus Tali, so he is right now under pressure as well from Carlos Martin. And I don't think that Johnny Seaman will be happy with that, because he was pretty close, but now Carlos Martin will have DRS as well. as they are pretty close right now coming onto the start-finish straight. Rasmus Tali will have a disadvantage here because Carlos Martin will have the DRS. He goes on the inside. Can he outbrake him into this first corner? Yes, he can. He has made a move done already before the first corner. So Carlos Martin picking up the 4th place there from Rasmus Tali after Rasmus Tali has made a slight mistake going off there. And right now Rasmus Tali will be on the thread as well from Johnny Simon. I remember his name was Seaman. That's what I remember from the World Winter Series. I thought that his pronunciation was Seaman. And we have also missed a move from Mohammed Paddle, who actually is in 2nd place right now. So he managed to overtake Marco Condi in the Twister car. And Mohammed is actually closing down on Jerry Toman as well. The gap is 3.4 seconds, so 4 tenths is pretty close. He's made 4 tenths up. Gap was 3.8 seconds before, it's now 3.4. But we have indeed great racing so far on this track. Let's switch back to Carlos Martin. It seems like that battle is currently the closest in terms of the gaps inside the top 10. Although it might be better to switch straight away to Thomas Savali, who is behind his teammate Maro Godek, as they are in the third sector right now. And he will be looking to make the move on Maro Godek, but obviously Maro Godek will be looking as well to make the move on Michi Hoyer, who had a little bit of a moment there at the exit of the final corner. So here we go. Maro Godek will be trying to make a move. DRS is wide open for him as Hoyer defends the inside, but I think Godek has already made the move down. No, not yet. Michi Hoyer trying to hold on the inside and has done it beautifully. Yes, Hoyer keeps that place. And there we go. Maro Godek. He's back in P9 as Thomas Savali is right now again looking on the back of him, but not close enough to overtake him just yet. But look at behind him as well. There's Norbert Leader who is closing them down as well. So we have a four-way battle over here for 8th position. And meanwhile, the gap between Jerry Toman and Mohammed Paddle is 2.8 seconds. So the gap is definitely coming down. Definitely is. Mohammed Paddle, last lap 35.2, last lap from Jerry Toman 35.3. So there's a 10th difference between them, and Mohammed Paddle has gone straight away 2 tenths faster in the first sector. So Mohammed Paddle is chasing down Jerry Toman for that first position. So we might have a battle here in our hands as Marco Condi in the Twister Blue Racing, in the Twister Blue car. He is 5 seconds down on Jerry Toman, so he's losing a little bit connection between himself and Paddle. The gap is definitely increasing, but Mohammed Paddle is having a pretty solid pace at the moment. But I think Jerry Toman responded on this lap, and the gap is pretty consistent right now. It's still 2.7 seconds. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. Michi Hoyer was in P8, I think, or P9, and he has entered the pit after 8 laps. And let's see what he does then. Let's see what compound he chooses. I think he's the only one in the pit right now. Yes, he is indeed. So he's pushed quite a bit, and he switches onto the medium tires. All right, so either he's going to do medium or medium soft. But 8 laps is pretty early for him, so he will be definitely looking at a 2-stop right here, I would say. Let's see where he joins. He rejoins in position 19th, just behind Valeriano. And in front of Valeriano, it is Alvaro Torres then, who's still in 17th place. I wonder if he has some damage on the car. It might be true that the wheel is slightly offset. That could be true. We have some contact with Johnny Seaman, and we will have a look at a replay of that. I think Johnny Seaman, he dropped back definitely. Let's have a look at that. Johnny Seaman, he was in 6th position, and what happened there? He was definitely racing against Rasmus Tali into turn 9 and 10, and definitely contact made there between the two, and Tali just spun out then on the almost hitting Seaman there, and Rasmus Tali is able to get back en route, but there was definitely a close call there. Don't know who's at fault there. I mean, those two corners 9 and 10, I think they are. Yes, they are indeed. It's pretty close. There's pretty much no room there for overtaking. Johnny Seaman went for it though, and unfortunately I think he slightly outbraked himself. There's just no room to go side by side, and unfortunately there has been some contact, so Johnny Seaman dropped back right now. He is still in P6, but he has lost Carlos Martin's tail. He's currently 3 seconds away. As currently Mohamed Pedal 2.2 away from the leader, Jerry Toman. So as I said before, Mohamed Pedal is just closing down Jerry Toman every lap. Just, you know, it's not really by huge margins, but it's consistently every lap 10th or so. But pretty consistent laps from the pair of them, definitely. As we will have a look again at Carlos Martin. It's basically a battle for the pole position right here between, or no, sorry, not a pole position, obviously, the podium between Marco Conti and Daniel Kiss in the Twister black racing car, and Carlos Martin. And Alvaro Torres still in 17th place, but we will have a look at him throughout this race. Let's see what his lap times are actually. Alvaro Torres, Jerry Toman does a 35.3 and Alvaro Torres does a 37.3. Oh, never mind, the timing screen is a little bit glitched. Jerry Toman has done a 35.9 last lap, and let's have a look at Alvaro Torres. He has done a 30, he's in the 37s. As we have a look at Valeriano, he is in the pits currently, or he has pitted, and he went off the track as well. He's on soft tires. Yep, he definitely went off the track there. And into the pits then. He's on the medium tire, alright, so he switches to the medium tire, but he's standing there for quite a long while. Don't know what he's doing. We have more cars into the pits though. We have Armando Mora is into the pits, and it seems like he switches to the medium tires as well. But oh, there we go. Valeriano is out of the pits, but it was a very long pit stop. He lost a lot of time with that, I would say. And we have Mauro Godek as well into the pits from Go Speed Racing Team. After 10 laps, he switches to the soft tire. So you will be looking at the 2 stops as well, I would say. Now the gap between Jerry Toman and Pedal is 2 seconds, 1.9 right now. So indeed, Mohamed Pedal is getting closer and closer. But I wonder if he's, you know, demanding too much from his tires. Because if that's the case, he will have to pit earlier. But he's doing pretty well, 11 laps, and he's still driving around. I think these guys are looking at a 1 stop today. So are there any battles developing right now? Well, not really actually. There's quite a big gap after some people have pitted. The only battle I can find is around position 10 with Chris de Jong in 10th position and Martin Hodes in 11 in the Precision Motorsport. So he is making up ground definitely into that P11, and he is looking at the back of Chris de Jong, trying to make a move shortly if he can with use of DRS. But obviously in this middle sector, those couple of corners here, there's quite a bit of dirty air, and that loses some performance, get more on the steer. So his task is to stay close, as there we go. A little bit of a moment there, Chris de Jong, a little bit of a moment. Martin Hodes on the inside for turns 9 and 10. Can he make it stick? On the inside has a little bit of a lock up there, but he does make it stick though. Great job from Martin Hodes making that move stick on the inside of turns 9 and 10. Never seen that before. That was a very risky move, but well executed, I have to say. Well done to Martin Hodes. Picks up 10th position already then, and Chris de Jong on those medium tires has lost the place then to Martin Hodes in the Precision Motorsport car. But Precision Motorsports, Martin Hodes is currently 31 seconds behind his teammate Jerry Toman, as Jerry Toman is responding a little bit to Mohamed's times. Jerry Toman currently, his last 2 laps were a 36.0 and a 36.2, and Mohamed's final two laps were 35.8 and a 36.3. So I wonder if Mohammed has made a mistake on that lap, on his last lap, or whether he has made a, or whether his tires are becoming destroyed, or worn, I should say. So the gaps are as well a little bit extending around that podium spot. It's currently 1.7 seconds between Daniel Kiss and Marco Condi around that third position. But Carlos Martin sticking to the back of Daniel Kiss, but not close enough to use the DRS and get past him. But we have quite a bit of a battle between Ross Mustali and Norbert Leitner, around 7th place, that is. So we have a few cars retiring as well. We have, oh, this is going to be a difficult one. We have Aslama Zayn, who had an accident apparently, and he retired from the race. So 21 drivers remaining, and Mara Godek as well. There's something wrong with him. He's in 21st position, and he's not looking good at the moment. Obviously, he has made a pit stop. As we have cars pitting, Mohammed Paddle is into the pits, and he's going to switch his tires. And there's another car into the pits. Let's have a look. Who is that? That is Jerry Toman. So the leader has pitted lap 12 actually. And let's see where he rejoins. Mohammed Paddle rejoining the track as well. Jerry Toman, he's coming just in the middle actually of that group of cars. And that is Norbert Leitner and Ross Mustali, who were battling before. So he's right in the middle of that battle on the medium tires. So I think he's still looking at the one stop, as there goes Norbert Leitner going wide, and that will be an advantage for Mohammed Paddle, who is right now then closing them down as well, joining that pack. Jerry Toman is being held up here definitely by Ross Mustali, but Jerry Toman on those first set of tires, those fresh medium tires, is pretty close. And yeah, he will have the DRS definitely onto the straight, coming onto turn 11, and Mohammed Paddle very close as well to Norbert Leitner. So let's have a look. Jerry Toman onto turn 11 with the use of DRS on the inside, and that should be a straightforward pass. No, it's not. Whoa, great job from Ross Mustali, keeping it around the outside there and still holding up Jerry Toman. Meanwhile, Mohammed Paddle has managed to jump. Who was that again? He managed to jump Norbert Leitner for 7th place. So there we go, as Jerry Toman once again picks up the slipstream. Will he pass him here into this final corner? He will have DRS, the detection line. He just went over it, and this should be a straightforward pass with use of DRS now, definitely, as we have a few cars more into the pits as well. We have Daniel Kiss into the pits, Marco Condi into the pits, and whoa, there's a bit of a chaos going on between Daniel Kiss and Marco Conti. Something happened there. Daniel Kiss lost a piece of his front wing. Carlos Martin into the pits as well, so we have a lot of cars pitting. Thomas Savely for Go Speed Racing into the pits as well, and he will be on the medium tire for the second stint now. But Jerry Toman currently leads from Mohammed Paddle, but the gap is just 6/10. Thomas Savely will be rejoining the track right now, but we have Carlos Martin in the pits. We have had Marco Conti in the pits. Both drivers went for the medium tire. Johnny Seaman is on the medium tire, and Johnny Seaman actually has a reasonable pace. Daniel Kiss follows Johnny Seaman on those medium tires as well. And the gap between Johnny Seaman and Mohammed Paddle, as I said, has come down definitely. The gap is under a second, so Mohammed Paddle will be using the DRS right now, and Jerry Toman's win, or his lead I should say, is right now on the thread from Mohammed Paddle. He's using the DRS down the second DRS zone. So Johnny Seaman and Daniel Kiss are within the second as well from each other. Then we have a little bit of a battle between Thomas Sadley, who just came out of the pits, the Go Speed driver. He's in front of Mitchie Hoyer, about a second as well. So it's looking pretty close, about 10th position. And we have Alvaro Torres, who pitted. Alvaro Torres is into the pits, switching onto the medium tire, looks like it. And he is rejoining right now. I don't know what happened to Mara Godek. I think he had a spin or a crash or something like that. I'm not sure, to be honest. He's in last position currently, 21st position, sorry. As we have another car into the pits. It's Norbert Leitner into the pits. And I think most people have pitted right now. Another leader is onto the medium tires as well. So indeed one stop for them. As the gap between Mohamed Peddle and Jerry Toman is right now half a second. Let's join Mohamed Peddle is trying to chase down Jerry Toman, and this is a position for the lead. Here we go then, turns 9 and 10. I'm sure Mohamed will be pushing, trying to get the gap down and try to sneak off the victory here. He has DRS right now. I don't think he's close enough though. Let's see this, if his stop speed is any good. Oh, he closed him down quite a bit there. Not too much though. Obviously the first DRS zone, I think it's much easier to overtake there. Much longer straight and a heavy braking zone into that first corner. Here we go, Mohamed chasing down Jerry Toman, getting a little bit of that slipstream on that straight, and now he will have DRS. The gap is just half a second again, so they are pretty close. There's a pretty close gap between each other. And here we go, Mohamed Peddle using DRS. No, he's not close enough. His top speed there, I noticed, was 321 kilometers an hour, and that's currently not enough to overtake Jerry Toman. So Jerry Toman sticks onto that lead. As right now the gap between them is still half a second though, but lap 16, almost halfway through the race, and we still might have a very good battle here between Mohamed Peddle. Look at that, Mohamed Peddle lost a lot of time there into that dirty eye. That's what I'm talking about. The dirty eye in the middle sector is quite horrible, and you can lose a lot of time, and he indeed did lose a lot of time. I'm wondering if he even will have DRS down the second DRS zone. I doubt it, honestly. Let's have a look at his rear wing. It will open. Yes, it does open, so he has DRS, but he definitely dropped back right there, and he's still too far back. So let's see, at the end of the second sector, the gap is 7/10, so indeed Mohamed Peddle lost a little bit of time there into that chicane, which are corners 5 and 6, I think. Yep, 6 and 7, sorry, not 5 and 6. And Mohamed Peddle is right now, within a reasonable distance of Jerry Toman. Still 7/10s, he has DRS, but honestly, he's too far back right now. So let's see, we have Daniel Kiss in 6th place, 12 seconds down on the leader, and 2 seconds down on Johnny Seaman, who is still into that 5th position, with Carlos Martin in 4th place, losing a little bit of time to Marco Conti on those medium tires. The gap between them is 2.3 seconds. So Marco Conti looking quite confident into that first place, or third place, sorry, not the third place, the podium spot. He is 5 seconds down on the leader, so if he has a very good stint on those medium tires, we might see him battling for the first position, but he has to do some work. Obviously he has to do some catching up before he gets there, as Mark Johnston is into the pits, changing his set of tires. He goes from the mediums to what tire? Let's see what he chooses. Looks like, oh, he missed his pit stop box. He missed his box. That's embarrassing, I think. Yep, there we go. Mark Johnston lost a lot of time there, I would say. He switches again to the medium tires, and that definitely cost him some time. He's in 18th place. Looking further back, we have Mario Godek in 21st place, and he is quite a way back from Alvaro Torres. I think the Go Speed driver has had a little bit of a mistake and a problem, definitely, as Alvaro Torres is in 20th, but he's not looking good, to be honest. I think he has at least on my screen, he has a pretty big flat spot as well on that front right tire. As we go back again to the leader, Jerry Toman, he's on the flat once again from Mohamed Peddle. The gap is just 3/10, so once again Mohamed Peddle has the pace on Jerry Toman, but is he close enough to overtake him? I'm not sure. He's once again 3 tenths down, but that's as close as he can get, I think, without losing too much performance from the dirty. As we see here again, he's losing a little bit, but we have, I think, a back marker that is Alvaro Torres actually. It's Alvaro Torres in front of Jerry Toman, and he is about to get lapped by Jerry Toman. But Jerry Toman will have DRS though. You can see when you're driving on board with Jerry Toman, he has the lights, the green lights on his steering wheel and on his dash as Alvaro Torres moves nicely out of the way. There are no problems whatsoever there. But Jerry Toman had DRS down at the straight because he was behind behind Alvaro Torres. So there we go. We have 2 lapped cars right now. Mario Godek in the Go Speed team, and we have Alvaro Torres in the Crown 7 who is lapped now as well. But I'm sure that those 2 guys are struggling right now and having some sort of issue. Maybe their steering wheel is offset, not sure. The gap between Jerry Toman and Mohamed Paddle though is 7 tenths. And it's now half a second, so once again Mohamed is closing him down, using DRS down the straight, but once again not close enough, as we have a car into the pits. That's Armando Mora going for the soft tire. Well, I think he has to do another pit stop because 16 laps, it's possible, 15 laps, sorry. 15 laps on those tires is possible. He might be on his final stint actually, that could well be true. So he might as well see a tactic here or a strategy from Jerry Toman, just trying to save his tires a little bit for the end of the race, and basically waiting for Mohamed to destroy his tires in that dirty air, because the dirty air, I'm sure it will have a big effect as well on the tire wear. Obviously he has lots more understeer, which is unfortunately for him. As we have 6th place, Daniel Kiss. And he just lapped Alvaro Torres as well, and he is about 2 seconds down on Johnny Seaman. So that gap is just maintaining the whole time. It's not really variating that much. Also, Marco Condi still looking quite confident into that third position. 2 seconds between him and Carlos Martin in 4th position. Looking a little bit further down, around 10th place. We have Martin Hodes in the Precision Motorsports. He is 5 seconds down on Thomas Severly in the Go Speed car. And Danny van der Niet in the Crown 7 car. He's about a second down on Thomas Mundy. So maybe we will see a move from Danny van der Niet later on in this Grand Prix on Thomas Mundy. But let's go back to the leaders. I think we have the most action right now over there, because they are still separated, but only by 4 tenths. And it's Mohamed who constantly closes down the gap with use of that DRS, but he's not close enough to overtake him. I don't think his 7th gear is long enough or his top speed is high enough to overtake him just yet. I'll have a look at Jerry's top speed as well, or Toman's top speed without DRS, because that might be interesting to see what his top speed will be compared to pedal. So we have Carlos Martin close down the gap to Marco Conti quite a bit. Gap is now 1.6 seconds, but still the focus is on that first position on the battle in front. As Jerry sliding a little bit there. And he could indeed have some balance issues, yeah. Jerry Toman sliding around a little bit. He might have a little bit of problem, probably, or perhaps with his tires, perhaps with the setup, just in general. Not good news, definitely not for Jerry Toman, who pulled away from the pack so easily. And Mohamed paddled there, having a look on the inside there, trying to scare off Jerry Toman perhaps. He's too far back to overtake him just yet once again. And I'll have a look at the top speed of both drivers there, down that first DRS zone. So Mohamed was having a top speed of 320 kilometers an hour with DRS, and Jerry Toman had a top speed of 309, so that's a difference of 11 kilometers an hour. But the problem is for Mohamed that he's not close enough in the DRS zone. He's not close enough. He's around 4 tenths back the whole time. He's right now actually 6 tenths back, so he's fallen back just a little bit. And that's just not close enough to overtake him just yet. Carlos Martin was slightly faster than Conti, but right now the gap is once again 2 seconds as Marco Conti is approaching a back marker. Torres, who has moved himself up into P18 because Valeriano and Mora, they both have pitted, I think, and they are right now behind Alvaro Torres, and it's Mara Kodak again in last position. So going back with the leaders once again, because we have another DRS zone here, but once again the gap is 6 tenths, and that's really it. You know, it's the same story over and over again. DRS isn't too effective for or effective enough for for Mohamed Pedal to overtake him. And once again he closes him down, but not far enough or close enough once they enter turn 1. He's quite close now though, but he will fall back as Jeroen once again is sliding out of the exit of that first corner. He indeed might have a bit of balance issues, might be destroying his rear tires, might be destroying his front left tires, because the front left is really crucial on this track. And well, I think Pedal is pretty close right now. The gap at the end of the first sector is 3 tenths indeed, but then again Mohamed just hasn't got the downforce there. He picks up the dirty air and it slows him down quite a bit, and he's not close enough. And problem is that he's not close enough to overtake him, because Jeroen makes no mistakes as Thomas Mundy is into the pits. Crown 7 car is into the pits, and we have another car into the pits as well. That is Danny van der Niet. And Thomas Mundy was obviously in the faster than speed car, and it is Danny van der Niet who is in the Chrome 7 car, sorry. Back again with the leaders. Half a second once again. It's the whole time half a second, but Jeroen once again cooking up his rear tires at the exit of that corner there. And Mohamed looks pretty close. He's quite close into that braking zone there. And indeed he's pretty close. We might see an overtake move here, although he's falling back a little bit in that traction zone. Opening up the DRS for Mohamed Pedal as they both go down into turn 1. Is it close enough? He has a little bit of a look on the inside there. He's trying to outbrake him. No, not going to work. Jeroen keeps his line there and was pretty late on the brakes, I think. And that managed to still keep the lead for him, as the gap between the leader and Conti is still 5 seconds, so that is maintaining as well. It's just a shame that, or it's a shame obviously not for Jeroen, but for us, for the spectators, it's quite a shame that Jeroen pulled away so easily in the first couple of laps, because the pace seems to be pretty consistent from everyone and pretty close as well. As we have Carlos Martin, who indeed made a little bit of progress in terms of closing the gap down to that third position of Marco Conti. Gap is 1.4 seconds, so if Carlos Martin can close the gap even more, it will be under a second, and he will have DRS, and that will definitely help him in order to overtake, as Marco Kodak is into the pits, I think. Yeah, he is indeed. As Thomas Mundy there has a little bit of a battle between himself and Benowitz, and oh, there's a car off. There's a car off. That's Mitchy Hoyer, and there has been an accident probably. I see a front wing piece there, or whatever that is. I see a piece of carbon fiber on the grass there, and it is indeed Thomas Mundy who has passed Benowitz, which was for 11th place. But Mitchy Hoyer there, he lost his car there definitely. I'll have a look at that in the replay. Let's have a look. What happened there? Oh, he collided with another driver. That must have been that was Chris de Jong. He collided with Chris de Jong at the exit of turn 1, but not enough time to really stand still there. We have to keep going, because again, Jeroen, a little bit of threat, but not too much though. Mohamed Pedal once again is 4 tenths down. But is he close enough to overtake him with use of that DRS? I doubt it once again. It's the whole time the same story, you know. Just 10 laps to go in his first Formula SimRacing A-Series race, as Mohamed once again has a little look there but it doesn't scare off Jeroen, although the gap is pretty close between them, as in the second DRS zone they go. I was having a look at the first DRS zone action into turn 1. Mohammed was pretty close, but again not managed to make the move stick, as Chris de Jong is into the pits. Chris de Jong into the pits, followed by another car, that is Mitchy Hoyer. After his accident he came straight into the pits, and Chris de Jong is going for soft tire, and Saliento is into the pits as well. He switched from the medium tire to the soft tire. That will be his final stint, obviously. All the guys who are pitting right now will have to do just one more stint. This is the final stint for them. As Saliento, he will rejoin probably just behind Jeroen, if that's right. Yes, he rejoins just behind the battle, which is unfolding between Mohammed and Jerry, but still Mohammed too far back to overtake into that DRS zone. So the gap between Marco Conti and Carlos Martin, just looking a little bit at the podium spots, while still pretty consistent. There's still 1.5 seconds between them, so Carlos Martin isn't quick enough just yet to overtake him, or to close him down and sneak off the DRS. Some pretty big gap actually between the drivers. The big battle basically is obviously for the lead, but it's also the closest battle. As we have a look here at Jeroen, he is in a little bit of traffic. He has a back marker in front of him. That is, let's have a look, that must be Mitchy Hoyer, is it? No, there was Mark Johnston there, and whoa, a little bit of action between Mark Johnston there and Mohammed Pedal, and Pedal almost running off the track. Well, he ran off the track, but managed to keep control of the car. I think Mark Johnston was on the racing line there, and Mohammed wanted to pass him just as quick as he could. But will Jeroen, keep his nerves down and keeps himself cool? The gap is 8 tenths, so because of the traffic, Mohammed has lost a little bit of time to Jeroen, but no problems at the moment because the gap is still within a second. So there's another car which is about to be lapped, and that is Mitchy Hoyer then in the Venus Project car. Mark Johnston is the teammate of Mitchy Hoyer, and Saliento actually overtook Johnston, I think. Yes, he did indeed. Saliento is currently in 16th place, just overtook Mark Johnston, and let's have a look. It looks like Conti is currently faster than the leader, Jeroen, and the gap between him and Carlos Martin is 2 seconds, so Marco Conti responding a little bit to Martin's times, going slightly faster now, extending the gap once again. As Amanda Moro is once again in the pits. And we have David Benowich as well into the pits. He comes going from the soft tire onto another set of softs, I would say. Yep, that's right, he's onto another set of soft tires, so he has to do one more stint as well, and he will exit the pits as we rejoin the battle between Jeroen and Mohammed Pedal. Although I don't think it's worth going back and forth the whole time between them and watching them the whole time, because it's pretty much the same story. Once again, Mohammed Pedal half a second down and not close enough to overtake him. But Jeroen, we have seen him sliding a little bit, so he might have tire wear issues at the end of the race, who knows. I think they pitted in lap 12, both Pedal and Jeroen, so that's pretty early actually for a one stop. It's possible, don't get me wrong, but to be honest, I would probably look at lap 13, 14 to pit if you really want to make use of those medium tires in the final stint. But obviously I know that they know what they're doing, at least that's what I hope. So no problems there for the team. Yeah, this is pretty much the only action which is right now on track. There's on an average about 5 seconds between every driver, I would say. I'll keep an eye on the gap between Conti and Carlos Martin, but it's once again just over 2 seconds, so that's pretty much maintaining as well. So the big battle is between Toman and Pedal over here. And once again, Jerry Toman sliding on the exit there. So his rear tires must be cooked up a little bit as Danny van der Niet pits. But I would like to stick with Jerry Toman and Mohamed Pedal here because Mohamed Pedal seems relatively close. And once again, Jerry Toman letting the backhand slide out there in that final corner. But he gets a good exit every time though. Although Mohamed Pedal is just 4/10 down, he might make a move here. As he has DRS on the inside, can he now break him into that first corner? No, he cannot. Once again, Jerry Toman keeps that place. And that was a pretty good opportunity, I think, for Pedal. He seems relatively close, but once again hasn't got the top speed as Mark Johnston has pitted as well. And I can tell you that Danny van der Niet has gone for the soft tires, obviously, which that's pretty obvious, obviously, with just one more stint to go, which will be 6 laps. Because we are in lap 28, and Danny van der Niet, there's something wrong with Danny van der Niet, I think. No, there's not. He let someone through. Apologies there, my fault. Danny van der Niet pulled alongside the track, but that was to let another car pass. But meanwhile, again the battle for the lead. Mohamed has DRS down the second DRS zone, coming on to turn 11. Once again, not close enough though. As we have a problem probably, well not we have a problem, but probably Conti has a problem. Suddenly he's falling back a little bit. His last lap was 37.0 after he has done a 36.0 before. So he has lost a second suddenly out of nowhere. And Carlos Martin is still 1.6 seconds down on him, but he is closer though. So do we have a problem here with Conti? Does he have a problem with the tire wear or something else? Or did he just simply make a mistake? I don't know. Meanwhile, Mohamed once again has a look, not close enough, once again. But can Carlos Martin close the gap to Conti for that final podium spot? I'm not sure, because Conti is right now again lapping in a 35. Whoa, he has actually done a pretty good job. He did a 36.0, 37.0. And suddenly he is back in the 35.4, so that's a pretty good time. The leader is doing a 35.4 as well, so he is once again pretty close to the leader's pace, but he's just too far back, obviously. 7 seconds to mix himself into the battle between Jerry Toman and Pedal. And Mark Johnston is once again into the pits, and he leaves the pits, but he's a lap down, unfortunately for him. Again, the gap between Jerry Toman and Mohamed Pedal. I know I mentioned it a lot of times, but it's again 4/10. This is not close enough. We have seen before. I think Mohamed Pedal is either waiting for a mistake or something else. But if he wants to win, he has to do something pretty soon here. He once again has DRS, and whoa, he has a look. No, not enough. Not close enough to really stick it on the inside into that first corner, but I can feel Jerry Toman's pressure. I think we can all feel the pressure which is currently on him. He has been leading the race for 30 laps long, and or 29 laps because he obviously pitted. But Jerry Toman, every time on the exit of the corner, there is some wheel spin. She's coming up to another car or another back marker. That should be Mitchie Hoyer, if it's right. Yes, it is indeed Mitchie Hoyer. He's currently in 14th place, and let's have a look at the Go Speed Racing team. We have Thomas Saverly in 9th position, so he is in the point scoring position, and Mara Godek is in 20th, and he has a disappointing race. Don't know what's going on over there. We might have a problem. Same for Alvaro Torres. They might have a problem after their first lap incidents which they had. I'm sure Alvaro Torres has had a first lap incident. We've all seen that. He actually flew for a couple of meters. Not sure what happened to Godek exactly, they might have some damage. Might be to the wheels, to the chassis. You know, who knows? There's the gap between Conti and Carlos Martin, 1.5 seconds. So still, it's around there the whole time. There's not a lot of action going on at the moment. Obviously we have cars battling and trying to overtake, but even with DRS looks like it's pretty hard to overtake. At least that's the case for Mohamed Pedal here in second place. Has been fighting for that first place. This is pretty close there to Jerry Toman. He has been following Jerry Toman for a lot of laps. He obviously was behind Conti before, but he overtook him and managed to close down the gap to Jerry Toman, which Jerry Toman made in the first couple of laps. But it's quite remarkable that he is still behind him after many laps. But I think Mohamed Pedal has a pretty good pace. I mean, he has shown that he was faster at Jerry Toman in the first couple of laps. Well, not the first couple of laps obviously, but around lap 8 or so, something like that. Because he closed the gap down that Jerry Toman created before. So he has got a good pace, but driving towards a driver, as Jerry Toman had a lot of oversteer there, driving towards a driver is one thing, but overtaking them is another thing obviously. And we have seen that Mohamed Pedal is struggling, and we have a little bit of a pace drop actually further down for the third place. The gap between Carlos Martin and Conti is still 1.4 seconds, but Conti is losing a little bit of time to the leaders here, as once again Mohamed Pedal very close, almost touching the back of Jerry Toman into that first corner. So the time is running out though. Lap 32 out of 34, just 3 laps to go including this one, and Mohamed Pedal has to make a move very soon if he wants to win this one. So you can see there Michi Hoyer is up the road as Jerry Toman once again spins up those rear tires at the exit. Don't know if it's really a balance problem or whether he just doesn't care about his rear tires being overheated a little bit. And we have indeed a very remarkable situation actually here, because we have a back marker, Gennaro Saliento. He is a lap down, but you can see then him behind Mohamed Pedal and Jerry Toman, as Mohamed Pedal is right now seriously close behind Jerry Toman, just 3/10 the gap between them. So this might well be the chance for Mohamed, although he fell back there thanks to the dirty air. So once again he closed him down, but then once again he lost some time thanks to the dirty air. But as I said, look at Saliente just managing to keep track and keep holding on to the leader space. Pretty remarkable there into that 15th place he is, Gennaro Saliento. I'm not sure if he is going to unlap himself. I'm sure that this is allowed in the Formula SimRacing League. I think he can unlap himself if he does that in a safe way. As Pedal once again has a look there, but not close enough. And there's something going on with Conti. Indeed, Conti, look at that. Marco Conti has managed to make a mistake or something like that. And Mohamed Pedal once again is in the lead. What's happening? Jerry Toman suddenly has lost his second place to Mohamed Pedal. And we have Carlos Martin in third place right now. So places swapped here between Mohamed Pedal and Jerry Toman and Carlos Martin, as Carlos Martin has a little bit of oversteer there, and there's a battle right now between Marco Conti has made contact between Marco Conti and Carlos Martin spun around there in corners 9 and 10 as he rejoins the track, and that is with Saliente, and that's not Saliente, is it? That is Saliente. What's going on at the moment? Jerry Toman in second place and Mohamed is in first place. Right, let's have a look at the replay then straight away, because something definitely happened there between Mohammed Paddle and Jerry Toman. I think Jerry Toman had quite a big lead over Jerry Toman, or Jerry Toman had quite a big lead over Mohammed Paddle, but something happened there. It was at the exit of turn 3 on the way to turn 4. Mohammed Paddle in the slipstream of Jerry Toman, and what did he do? It's quite a way back. Jerry Toman outbraked himself. Yep. There it is. There, I think that's the mistake Mohammed Paddle has been waiting for all the race. Jerry Toman making a mistake into that turn 4. I think he locked up his front tires. And there goes Mohammed Paddle into the lead of this race with just 1 more lap to go as well. So pretty good scenario here for Mohammed Paddle, as actually Mohammed Paddle has taken victory on this race. So that is remarkable. Quite a chaotic a couple of laps as well, and that is pretty impressive stuff here. Marco Conti coming into 3rd place after he had that battle with Carlos Martin. Carlos Martin spun around there. Marco Conti was on the inside, I think, for corner 9 and 10, but Carlos Martin spun around, and in the end Carlos Martin has finished in 5th position, and Johnny Seaman was the lucky guy here and managed to pick up the 4th position after Carlos Martin did make a crash. But that is something spectacular. What an end to this race. There was quite a lot of happening there in just a few seconds really, so I'm sorry if I've missed anything, but basically Jerry Toman locking up there, and well, I think he basically outbraked himself, and Mohammed Paddle managed to get past. What a hectic last lap there, holy. And Marco Conti in 3rd place then. He managed to pick out the final podium spot. So let's have a look at the grid then, at the results. We have Mohammed Paddle. By the way, keep in mind that in the next race, which will be 17 laps long, we will have reversed order, top 8 reversed order. Mohammed Paddle has taken victory. In the end, the gap between him and Jerry Toman was 3.5 seconds. So I wonder if it was Jerry Toman's tires going off there, anything like that. Marco Conti in 3rd position, in the end a second up on Johnny Seaman, and Carlos Martin in 5th place after we have seen that crash, and Daniel Kiss in 6th position, Ross Mustali 7th, Norbert Liedner in 8th, Thomas Saverly in 9th, and Martin Hodes in 10th position. So what a race. Looking further down the grid, down the order, we have Thomas Mundy in 11th place, Chris de Jong in 12th, David Benowitz in 13th, Michi Hoyer 14th, and Gennaro Saliento in 15th place. Danny van der Niet, he was in 15th place, and 16th, sorry, Danny van der Niet 16th place, Valeriano 17th, Mark Johnson 18th. They were all lapped. Alvaro Torres 19th after he had that that accident in the first lap. Marek Godek in 20th, and I'm hearing right now that Marek Godek had a problem with his wheel, and that's the reason probably why he was in 20th place. That's not a good result for Go Speed Racing Team, definitely not. Armando Mora 21st position, and then we have Asla Mazayan who didn't finish the race. David Ovich 23rd, Gabriel, we have seen him crashing, 24th, and Alex Diaz in 25th. So we had 4 DNFs this race. Man, what a race. That really was exciting, especially around that first place, definitely. So just a little bit debrief on that race. Obviously, we had Jeroen pulling away from the rest of the field in those first couple of laps, but Mohamed Peddle managed to go past Marco Conde, it was, closing down the gap, and the gap between them was the whole time half a second. Mohamed not close enough to overtake him with use of the DRS, but suddenly in that final lap, a lot of hectic things happening there. Holy, that was really hectic. A lot of things happened there. Obviously, Jeroen lost his lead there. He still managed to finish in second place, the Precision Motorsports car, and that's pretty much it, I think. Obviously, we have Carlos Martin spinning out. In the end, he managed to finish in 5th position, and Martin Hodes, in the end, for Precision Motorsport, he picks up the 10th position. After he was quite a way down the field as well, but he managed to actually recover quite well. I'm going to take a little break right now. We will be right back soon. Just give me 2 more minutes, and then we will start the sprint race. So stay tuned, and sprint race coming up next. Right, so here we are back again with the warm-up session. Obviously preparation for race 2, which will be in reversed order, at least the top 8 will be. So it should give us quite a bit of action. We're currently just waiting to round up the warm-up session, and then we can start race 2. Just mentioning it one more time, race 2 will be 17 laps long, because the first race was 60% race distance and this will be 30% race distance, so that's obviously 17 laps then, if race 1 was 34 laps, just divided by 2, so that's 17 laps. So it will be interesting to see with the reversed order if, well, basically Mohammed, Jerry, and but also Marco and I would say Carlos Martin, if they can make up their way to the field once again. Obviously we have Alvaro Torres again driving as well, and I hope that Marek Godek has managed to fix his wheel issues that he has had before, the Go Speed Racing team driver, and hopefully he should be in the mix as well. And obviously don't forget Johnny Seaman. And yes, it is Seaman, because he's from France, I think it was.
Hello.
Hello, Sam.
Hello, good. I was just making sure my mic was working. Yeah, sorry about that. I was meant in the commentary box with you earlier, but unfortunately I had a few issues with my game. But I'm back here now, and we're about to get ready to go racing once again.
Yeah, that's right. So, have you seen the first race?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't avoid missing it, and I think it was quite a nice surprise. And looking from a lot of the YouTube comments that we've had coming in, and we've had a lot today, I think everyone has been pretty pleased with how it's gone, and been pretty pleased with you as well. So it's been a great all round.
Yeah, very good. Obviously, that first race very hectic in the end. After the middle part of the race was pretty straightforward. Not a lot of position changes, but the final lap was definitely a cracker.
Yeah, absolutely, and even on a new mod and a completely new game, we still end up with the big two teams, as it would be Precision Motorsports and Twister Racing, going head-to-head once again for the top 2 positions in this first race.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway,
so it looks.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, okay. Looks like we're into the warm-up lap now. So, yes, as you said, we've got the top 8 reversed now. So, Norbert Lietner will take pole position for faster than speed. So, it will be really interesting to see if he can hold on to that, as it will be a race that's only half the distance of the one that we just completed. It's 17 laps now instead of the 34. So, it's a lot less time to hang on to the tyres, so it'll be interesting to see if Lietner can do that.
Yeah, and also obviously interesting to see if the top 3 or 5 basically from the first race, can make up positions in this race. We know that Pedal is struggling with top speed, that's for sure, because every time he opened up his DRS it just wasn't close enough to overtake Jeroen in the DRS zones. So that will be interesting to see as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know too much about the rules, whether you're allowed to make changes in between races 1 and 2, because he might, if he can, he might take some wing out to the car or change the gearing slightly. I'm not 100% sure if that's allowed.
Yeah, good point.
It looks like the cars are coming up to the grid now. Leitner bringing the field round with Rasmus Tarly in second, Daniel Kiss in third, Martin in fourth, Seaman in fifth, in sixth, Toman in seventh, and race 1 winner Patel with that amazing last lap pass in eighth.
Also worth mentioning, Conti, Jeroen and Mohamed Pedal are all on the medium tire. So here we go then, race 2. You can have a go, Sam.
Right then, I'll give it my best shot. It looks like we're waiting for someone to line up in their box correctly at the back. Everyone's now ready, the lights are on. And we're racing here in Bahrain for once again, and it's been a great start by Leitner, but look at Tarly coming up the inside. They could go through wide behind. Coming around the corner, there's a slight contact between Leitner and Tarly, but Leitner manages to hold on, and who's that? Daniel Kiss is rounded the first corner. He's dropped down the grid, and Carlos Martin's gone off with him as well, so it's a terrible start for those two guys there. As we come down into turn 3, and Leitner still leads the way, so a good start to the race by him, and Tarly as well.
So I've looked a little bit at the back. We have a big problem both for Myra Godek and Gabriel. Gabriel actually spun even before the first corner, but currently looking at the top positions, and Leitner still holds on to that first place. And there's a gap already forming between second and third, Tarly and Seaman. Gap is currently 1.6 seconds as they head into the first straight once again. But at the back there was quite a bit of contact, as I saw a car flipping over as well at the exit of turn 1.
So it definitely seems to be that if you make a bit too much contact in this version of FSR, then it is quite easy to flip the car over, as Leitner does leave, and Patel is already up into 4th place, and he's all over the back of Seaman as well. So Patel looking to try and make it a clean sweep of races so far this weekend, but Leitner is coming under increasing pressure from Tarly, coming down onto the pit straight now to complete lap 1. They're going across the line, and the gap between the first two is only 0.4 of a second, so Leitner is definitely not getting away here.
We have lost Armando Mora, Joe Gabriel and Maragodic in that first lap, and also I've seen someone driving without a front wing, so there's still some damage to those cars. Yes, indeed, we have Joel Tyen, who's heading into the pits.
And Chris de Jong and Carlos Martin have had contact as well at the first corner. It looks like Chris de Jong stopped the car and has retired from the race as well, so more contact. Daniel Kiss has lost his rear wing, so once again Daniel Kiss has been in the wars, and that's surely his race over as well. So it's a bit of a disaster, this race, for the new guy into the Ace Championship, as there's more contact at the back between Van den Eet and Hoyer as well. But Leitner still leads with Tarly in second. Siemens is still in third with Patel all over the back of him in fourth. Conti in fifth, Toman in sixth, and Safali in seventh, and Martin Hodas currently in eighth.
So let's see if Leitner can hold on to his lead, which he currently has over Rasmus Tarly. And in third position we have John Seaman, and he has a slight lead over Pedal, but Pedal is really close as they head onto the start-finish straight to complete the second lap. And let's see, obviously DRS hasn't been enabled just yet, but Pedal is quite close, but I wouldn't say he's close enough to overtake him just yet down in that first corner.
No, absolutely not. No DRS, I guess, at the moment. And Lena's definitely started to pull away a bit. I did notice that Tali ran wide through 13, got on the rumble strip on the outside, and it just seemed to cost him a bit of traction. So we'll see if Tali is able to catch back up again, as the battle on track at the moment really is Seaman and Patel. Patel looking very aggressive at the start of this race so far, but the longer he stays behind Seaman, the less chance he has of going after Tali and Leitner, because he can't really around and wait when there's only 17 laps and we're already on to lap number 3.
Yeah, that's right. And we have Jeroen then, obviously he won the race 1. He's currently in 6th position behind Mark Condy, and he will be definitely looking to make a move on him very soon as well, because we all know that Paddle is currently in 4th position, and I think I made a mistake because it was obviously Paddle who won the race instead of Jeroen. Jeroen came 2nd.
Yes, I guess it was a mistake at the end of that race. The tyres looked pretty bad on both Patel and Toman, so they definitely were struggling, but I'm guessing it was a mistake, as he said, by Toman that just gave Patel that chance. As we now go on to lap 4 of this race, and Tali's starting to close back in on Leitner again. The gap's down to 0.7 of a second now, so Tali's starting to reel Leitner back in. But Leitner has held his own so far, and he has coped with the pressure that he's been under. As Patel's looking a bit further away from Seaman now, so he's starting to drop back now, for over 3 seconds behind the leaders.
Yeah, he's definitely losing time, but remember Patel and Conti and Jeroen as well. They are on the medium tire right now, so they're not on the soft tire.
Is there a big difference between the two in terms of time?
Myself, I noticed that the soft was a bit more consistent actually than the medium tire, which is pretty weird, but that was what I noticed. Soft just keeps a consistent pace over a lot of laps, but that is my own experience.
Okay, so you would say that the medium compound tyre will drop off more over a long run then?
Maybe not really a big drop off, but I think the softs are faster, even in the middles of the stint, than the medium tyre. But yeah, once again, that's my opinion.
Okay, so Patel now starting to look closer to Seaman again, as Tali has definitely dropped off Leitner here. The gap between the top two has gone out to 1.2 seconds. Yeah, Patel, he's definitely getting closer to Seaman, but not really able to make any kind of on him enough to be able to get alongside him going into overtaking opportunities. There's quite a few on this track. There's at least 4 major overtaking opportunities, so there's plenty to choose from, but Patel just can't seem to quite get there at the moment.
That's right indeed, but obviously he is losing time right now. He's definitely being held up, and he has to make a move as soon as he can. Obviously DRS will be enabled as well, and we should see the rear flap opening up on Padel's car, as he is pretty close behind Seaman. Let's see if he can make a move into this second DRS on his rear wing. Is open indeed. Coming down to turn 11. No, he's too far back, so he still has to wait. And once again, we see Mohammed Paddle struggling with the top speed.
Yeah, definitely must be something with the Twister Racing setup. They've definitely gone for a bit more downforce to give them grip, I guess, through the middle sector, but it's certainly hampering them down the straights a little bit. Looking back further through the field, Alvaro Torres has got himself up into 9th place now, so Torres is starting to try and make up for that disaster of race 1, where he had some contact in the first lap and never really recovered after that.
Looking back at the front again, Leaner still leads from Tali, but only by a 10, so Tali is in the DRS zone. And if Tali really has a good pace, he should be able to get past Leaner, but once again, we have seen earlier on that it's important to have a good top speed, and if you don't have it, then overtaking is a really, really tough task.
Yeah, Patel's all over the back of Seaman now. He had a look there going into turn 8 it was. Nearly had to go around the outside, so Seaman's definitely starting to have to... Oh, and Seaman's just locked his brake there and just got a half going through turn 10. It's definitely the hardest place to brake in probably most tracks around the world, as you've got to turn left whilst braking. So Patel now up into third, and will be interesting to see if he can make any inroads into the leaders, as he's 3 seconds behind Leitner and 2.5 behind Tali.
Yeah, we will definitely have a look at Pedal's pace, what it's like. But obviously Seaman had, as you said, locked his rear brakes, just spun around almost.
Yeah, it does look quite difficult, that corner. I don't know if you've found it difficult during testing to get the braking point right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's really difficult, and the final thing which you want, or the last thing which you want, is locking the brakes. That's really not what you want to do in that corner. It can really affect your tires. It's not good. As I think Thomas Mundy is into the pits. Yes, he is indeed. So he's into the pits, switches to the soft tire, and that's pretty early.
Yeah, that is. He definitely is enjoying those medium compounds. He's going back quite quickly, as he did manage to get himself up into 9th at one point, but I noticed he started to drop away and got passed by quite a few drivers, Torres included in one of them. So well, it'll be interesting to see now what Mundy can do on these new sets of tyres, and whether it'll benefit him in the long term, as other drivers near the back start to pit in as well, as Tali is now 2 seconds behind Leitner, so Tali's really dropped off the leader here. I don't know if he's made a mistake earlier on.
He might have done, definitely, but obviously when he is losing time to Leitner, he will fall into Pedal's hands, and Pedal will definitely be looking to maybe win another race if he can, if he has the opportunity. I think he will take it.
Right, so we just had confirmation there about the rules that a pit stop in this race is not mandatory, so if you want to pit, then I guess you can do, but it won't really be key. You won't be disqualified for not pitting, so makes you think that perhaps some of these drivers are medium tired because they just feel that they can run with them to the end of the race, which maybe they don't feel too confident in with the soft tyre. So maybe towards the end of this race as well, we might see some drivers really starting to drop off as they struggle with the tyres, and other drivers who are on the medium compound be able to start coming through. I don't know.
Yeah, that might be as well Pedal's approach on the medium tyre. Maybe he's trying to look a little bit at what the top two is doing in front of him, because at the moment there's not a lot between Leitner and Pedal in terms of the time.
Yeah, Patel looks like he's dropped back to 3.6 seconds now, but he's running fairly similar lap times to Leitner, assuming that. Oh yes, so it's just gone off at turn 13, so suddenly he's got Seaman all over the back of him again now.
Seaman will have DRS then down the first DRS zone, start-finish straight. See what he can do.
Yes, you think that Seaman could possibly... He's got much better speed, it would appear, so he's coming down the straight now, but hasn't really gained too much. Jinx out, has a look, but Patel's a bit old and wise for that. He knows that Seaman was too far back and wasn't really going to have any opportunity into turn one, and just held his line.
Quite remarkable as well to see right now. We know from Patel that his top speed isn't great, but now we also see Seaman not really gaining too much, even though he had the DRS. So the DRS might not be powerful enough on this track to overtake from a pretty big distance.
Yes, and just looking back through the field a little bit further, Hodas, currently in 7th place for Precision Motorsports, is starting to go on a little charge now. He's already caught up to Thomas Safferly, new guy to the series this year. Is you see Van der Niet in the background just getting off track out of the way. He's already 2 laps down after stint with Kiss, Martin and Chris de Jong on the 2nd lap. So bad race for him it looks like, but Hodas, yes, definitely starting a charge now.
Yeah, that's right. He's definitely within a second, so he will have DRS as well. And then we can have another example to see how powerful DRS really is on this track. Obviously, the Precision Motorsports catching up to the Go Speed car, opening up the DRS, approaching turn 1. As Hodas picks up the slipstream, but no, he's too far back to make a move just yet. But look behind Hodas as well. It's Alvaro Torres. And I don't know what his lap times are, but he's pretty close, so he might be mixing up himself within in this battle.
Yeah, he's currently running high 134s compared to Hodas, who's dropped down into the low 35s after he's caught up with Safferly. So Torres is definitely gaining on these two, and he does look like one of the quickest drivers on the track at the moment. He's even running lap times that are faster than the leader.
So we've had a few more pit stops. Alex Diaz went into the pits, and we've had a few other cars as well. But I think they all changed to the option tire. There's obviously no need to go to the medium tire. I don't think they have the confidence that they can run 17 laps long on the option tire.
No, but seems to me like making a lap round here is probably going to cost you about 20 seconds. So they must feel that they can make up 20 seconds throughout a run by making a tyre change, because otherwise it really wouldn't be worth it on a race that's this short. We're already over halfway through the race now with only another 7 laps left to go, as the drivers actually go on to lap 11 out of 17, as Lietner leads by 2.9 seconds over Rasmus Tali, the slowly increasing, and Patel still recovery after that mistake in turn 13. He's another 2.5 seconds back from Tali, starting to pull away from Johnny Seaman.
Let's have a look at Alvaro Torres. It seems like that battle between him and 6th place is really the only battle which is currently out on track. A really exciting battle. As you said, there's a gap of 3 seconds between Lietner and Tali, so this is really the fight currently we have to focus on. Alvaro Torres is behind Safferly in a Go Speed, and Hodas is behind Safferly as well. So it seems like Safferly is holding up the pack just a little bit, although Alvaro Torres hasn't got the speed that he's already right on the back right now of Hodas, obviously after just 1 lap. But he seems to be holding on to his 8th position, and it will be interesting to see if he can catch up to Hodas.
Yeah, it's just looking at his previous lap, he might have made a mistake or either just run the tyres too hard, because he dropped about 4 tenths of a second compared to what he was running previously. So Torres maybe back a little bit over that last lap, so he'll have to gain it all back again, as Hodas is all over the back, as Tali is in the pits from second. So Tali has decided to come into the pits for whatever reason. With only 5 laps left to go in this race, he's had to change tyres, and that's dropped him right down the field into 9th place, possibly looking at 10th as Carlos Martin comes down the straight. So it's going to be a race between the two into turn 1. Looks like Tali just holds on to it as he goes through turn 1, well ahead of Martin there. So strange decision that by Tali. He's made a pit stop and straight through the order, and I really can't see him making up that time. to try and get back to that second place.
Yeah, quite remarkable, definitely, as we have Savely and Hodes. I think we have to look at the times, but I think Savely, he visually looks closer to Conti than he was before, so might have a very good battle in our hands here. Conti is currently running in 4th position. I think he's being changed down by the Go Speed driver, Savely, as Hodes almost spun. Hodes almost spun into turn 11 as they make contact.
Yeah, big contact there. Torres just looked like he came around to go up the inside of Hodes, and the two made contact. Torres tried to make the pass, and have a look at that again and see exactly what happened. Just lost it. Torres came around the outside effectively, and he just didn't seem to give Hodes quite enough room. His contact, Hodes' front right to Torres' rear left, and that just pitches them both off, and unfortunately Hodes loses his front wing. Torres takes damage to his front wing, and both of them are gonna have to come into the pits. No, Torres carries on, but Hodes is at the pit there.
So Hodes in the pits. Meanwhile, we can have a look at a replay. What happened there? Well, as you said, not enough room being given there, and Hodes perhaps turning in slightly. But it's hard to judge. Obviously, Hodes almost spun himself, maybe kept him out of his focus slightly, and through turn 11 and 12 they went, and suddenly they had a bit of contact going into the barrier.
Yes, it's not been the best of starts to Martin Hodes' FSR career, being picked up by Precision Motorsport, so they've definitely seen something in him, or their team, as they always do look to get the best drivers possible in the series that they run in, and that's why they usually end up winning a championship or two. So a bit of work to do for Hodes for the next round. We'll want to forget about this one a bit and just focus on the next round and get on with it. Looking now at Leitner, who still leads this race, taking the pole of course from finishing 8th from the previous race, and he currently holds a 3-second lead over Mohammed Patel, and he's running pretty similar lap times to Patel, so Patel's not making massive inroads into him at all.
Right now, the pressure is a little bit released from Savely after he had some pressure from Hodes, obviously, but he spun around, and now he has a gap of 6 seconds to Jeroen, who's closing him down. And we have heard that Leitner is struggling quite a bit with his tires, perhaps. He has made a few slides, and he actually lost a second, and he lost another 3/10 in the mid-sector to Patel. So Patel suddenly catching him, and he's definitely catching him by quite a bit as well. We'll have a look at the times through the final sector, but I doubt it that it will be good for Leitner.
Yeah, as you come across the start-finish line now to go on to lap 15, and to me it looks like the gap went up a little bit in that final sector, if I'm looking at the timings correctly.
Actually, for me it said the timing went from 2.1 to 2.4 seconds, so that means that Leitner actually gained another 3/10 again in that third sector. So that's quite remarkable. He might have made a mistake, had a slide, overcooked his tires, and had a little bit of stress on the tires for the rest of the lap, but it was okay again in the third sector, as the gap between them is right now pretty consistent. It's still 2.4 after one sector, so Leitner doesn't seem into too much problems, even though he has lost a second, probably because of a mistake.
Yeah, so that's something new for this year, isn't it? The tyre physics are a bit more realistic, you could say, a bit more updated. It is really, if you get too much of a slide on and really scuff the surface of the tyres, you can do a lot of damage to them, and does seem to be a big issue, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. The tire model is great in this game. It's really good. As we should look a little bit further down the field, we have 8th and 9th position Carlos Martin and Alvaro Torres in the Crown 7 cars, and they are pretty close behind each other. And it looks like Carlos Martin is actually pretty quick. And let's have a look at his lap times. His lap times are low 36s compared to Liedner. Liedner is doing low 35, so he's quite a bit slower, but definitely catching his teammate Alvaro Torres.
Yeah, we saw Torres with a little bit of front wing damage from that contact with Hodas, and he also clipped the wall as well, so he's suffering because of that. These are two ex-Positive Sim Racing drivers, both now driving for the Crown 7 Netrex team, so it will be really a big battle as they go down into turn 1, side by side. Martin chooses the outside. Can he hold it round the outside? He'll then get the inside, and Torres has actually spun, and Martin as well, so a spin for both of the Crown 7 Netrex drivers, and Torres comes out a little bit better from that. Martin had to go across the track, got into the gravel trap as well, but they both carry on now.
Yeah, a few problems for them, but I've mentioned it before. It's really tight into that first corner, side by side is quite hard, and you saw it there again. Fortunately for Crown 7 Netrex, both cars spun around there, and that definitely lost quite a bit of time for both drivers, even though there was quite a big gap between Carlos Martin and Thomas Mundy, who was in 10th position. Even though because he spun, he still has a lead of 4 seconds, so no problems over there.
Nope, as Leet now comes round the final corner to start his final lap of the race. And can you believe that we're there already onto the final lap, and he currently holds a 2.4 second lead over Patel. It definitely seems like in the final sector he's just got a few tenths over Patel, so I'm guessing because it's back straight into the final corner and then onto the home straight as well, that's where Patel's losing all his time in a straight line. So Lietner looks like, as long as he doesn't do anything silly, can hold on here, and he will take his first win in FSR, I believe it will be.
Very good race from Lietner, making no huge mistakes. He had one mistake obviously, but he built up a pretty big gap, and he's maintaining that throughout the whole race, so good job to him. And he has to do just 2 more sectors, and then the race win is his.
Yeah, he had a bit of pressure early on from Rasmus Tali, but for whatever reason, Tali pitted a few laps ago, and he's only got back up into 7th place, so he's basically made a net loss of 5 positions from 2nd to 7th, so it's not really worked out for Tali there, so I really don't understand that strategy by Tali.
No, me neither. It's pretty remarkable, but meanwhile, Carlos Martin has passed Alvaro Torres, so being teammates, I think Alvaro Torres let Carlos Martin through because of that accident. And currently we have Liedner crossing the line and to take home a victory in the sprint race there, and he crosses the line, and indeed he takes a victory after 17 laps. Petal comes home in 2nd, and we have in the end Johnny Seaman, who came home in 3rd place.
Yeah, another fantastic result for Seaman there, but you can't take anything away from Lietner today. He wasn't too sure whether he'd be able to hold on to it after getting in pole position and having arguably 7 cars behind him that should have been faster, but Lietner took the march and held the lead at the start from Tali and just kept it from there, and pretty much a perfect race from Lietner, so great job to him. Conti comes home in 4th with Savali in 5th, comes home in 7th after making that pit stop. Martin in 8th, beating his teammate Alvaro Torres, who came in 9th, and Gennaro Celiento rounds out the top 10.
It's pretty remarkable. I just want to point this out, but Jerry Tolman at the end came home in 6th, and it's pretty remarkable if you ask me, because he was obviously quite dominant into that first race, although Vettel was faster than him, but still, yeah, very good pace, and I expected a lot from him. He, in the end, as I said before, managed to finish in 6th position, but as you said as well, Leader doing a very good job and taking home a victory.
Yeah, so I wonder if being behind another car is something that Toman's struggling with a little bit, if he wasn't really made to be able to make an impact through the field, as he started this race in 7th place and only gained 1 position in the end, and it could have been a 7th place had it not been for someone like Tarly making a pit stop. So yeah, Toman did look like he struggled to get through the field there. So as the guys make it round the field on their slow down laps to bring the cars home, it has been quite an interesting first day for FSR 2014. Of course, we've had quite a few races during the winter. We had a winter series full of 5 races and a couple of test races as well, just to check out the mod and make sure everything was working properly. And there's definitely been a lot of time spent in the background as well, getting everything set up. All of FSR 2014 has really changed from last year, so it's a big step, and a lot of work has been done. So I think it's been a good first day for FSR today, this year. The races have been entertaining, they've gone well, and I think we've had a few surprises as well with this new format of 2 races.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you. Indeed, props to the organization. Very well organized, amazingly done. And as you said, a very good first day. So let's hope that tomorrow will be another very good day, as we have more action from the Bahrain International Circuit.
Yep, coming tomorrow will be the Pro Series, which some of you would have known as World Trophy in previous years, and that'll be run in the afternoon tomorrow, which you'll be taking part in, so it'll be your first official FSR race.
Yeah, that's right. Looking forward to it, and we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, so good luck with that, and hopefully you can do well.
Thank you very much.
No problems. And of course, after that big main event, the World Championship, which we'll see run for the first time on rFactor 2. And it will be interesting to see how the likes of Bonnehuis and Precision Motorsports have been able to adapt to this new game and this new mod. And we've got some returning faces as well in the likes of Morgan Morand and David Greco. So it'll be fantastic to see what they can do. And for once, I think we're going into the season really not knowing who's going to come out on top. We could have a few surprises, as we have done today as well. So forward to, and that'll be a great way to kick off the rest of the FSR season tomorrow as well, after a good action-packed couple of races here today. So any final thoughts?
Well, as you said, a couple of surprises, really good. Good action as well, I should say. I think we have the FSR has made a very, very good step by going with this mod. The tire model is amazing and really makes the drivers think and work about what they're doing, and it could put up a few surprises as well tomorrow in the World Championship and the Pro Series. And yeah, just excited to see how that will unfold with this amazing game and with this amazing league.
Yeah, I couldn't put it any better myself. That's absolutely right, and I think it's definitely been a success so far for FSR venturing into new territory. That's all for us for now, but of course you can catch us all again tomorrow during the afternoon and the evening for races, Pro and World Championship, and just to say finally a big thank you to yourself for commentating today. Big thank you to Jaakko for doing the cameras, as always, and providing an excellent broadcast. And a big thank you to the likes of John Eric Saxon, our FSR president, for doing all of this setup. So thank you very much, and until tomorrow, goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.